Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to session number 5 of the Swim England East Region Festival of Swimming 2021. We had the distance events this morning, the 400 metres freestyle, the 400 metres individual medley. We're now going on to some distance and endurance, speed and endurance events here with the 200 metres breaststroke for the women and the men's 200 metres butterfly. All to come. We're live here from Sportspark in Norwich, and it is a pleasure for me to introduce to you our lead officials for today's session. Our lead referee is Jerry Metcalf. She's joined on the poolside by referee Paul Kendall. Our starter for today's session is Stephen Christian. And joining me here in the commentary box as our announcer is Chris Maloney. And just a reminder that if you have missed any of the action over the weekend thus far, that you can catch up on the Swim England East Region YouTube channel, and of course you can check the results and the heat sheets and the starts sheets online as well via Sports System. So please make use of those resources. They're absolutely fantastic and certainly will help you to keep up to date, keep up to the developments which are occurring.
And so we get underway with event 221, the girls 200 metre breaststroke. Heat number 1, referee.
It is, of course, the start of session number 5 here, the women's 200 metres breaststroke. In lane number 2 from Newmarket, Ella Deaton. Lane 3, Emily Clark of Potters Bar. In lane 4 is Eliza Huff of the City of Cambridge. Matilda Tremeo Wells from Hartford goes in 5, and in lane number 6, Millie Ali of Modernian. At the first 50 then, it is Ella Deaton and Emily Clark in 2 and 3 who are pushing forward with their operation here. Emily Clark turning first, Ella Deaton just slightly behind by about 0.2 of a second. Not much in it at all. Millie Ali in 3rd. The 200 breaststroke is a grueling event. It's one of which, you need speed and endurance at the same time. But it's looking like Emily Clark of Potters Bar in lane number 3. She's doing very well here, starting to move forward from Ella Deaton in 2. On the other side of the pool, we have Millie Ali in lane 6. She's also starting to make a break for it, but Matilda Tremeo Wells isn't letting her get away. At the halfway stage, then Emily Clark in 1st, Ella Deaton in 2nd. Millie Ali in 3rd. Ella Deaton still in 2nd with Emily Clark on her left-hand side. The girls now are going to be thinking about how much more they have left in the tank. Do they want to speed up? Can they focus on that back-end speed, or are they just too shattered to actually do that and just try and hold on as far as possible? But it does seem that these two girls, Ella Deaton and Emily Clark, are holding on here. And at the turn then, it is still Emily Clark in 1st, with Ella Deaton in 2nd. Millie Ali is going to be turning 3rd. But coming down here, the stroke is starting to increase. We're starting to see that increased stroke rate. A lot more, the heads bobbing up and down quite more frequently now than previously. Emily Clark, though, still in 1st of Potters Bar. Ella Deaton doing her absolutely best to hunt her down, but as they come to that final 15 to 10 meters, it is still Emily Clark in the lead. She had a great start and she's managed to carry on that lead here. Ella Deaton certainly doing her absolute utmost to try and beat her, but final 5 meters now, it's going to be Emily Clark of Potters Bar who takes the win of this first heat here. 3 minutes 20.87. Ella Deaton in 2nd with a 3:22.37, and Millie Ali 3 minutes 30.33. Lots of threes there for Millie in lane number 6.
Confirmation there of the results of Heat 1. Event 221 at the girls 200 metre breaststroke, Heat number 2. Referee.
In lane 1 from the city of St Albans goes Isla Black. Lane 2, Hannah Pye of First Strokes, God Manchester. In lane number 3, Charlesley Harding of Norwich Swan. Lane 4, Jemima Kerber from Linsdale. Ruby Rowland of Great Yarmouth goes in 5. Alice Azopardi of the city of St Albans in 6. 7 is Sophia Andre Barnett from the city of Cambridge. And in 8 is Freya Cowley of Colchester. A very strong swim from Jemima in lane number 4, very closely followed by Charlize in lane 3 and Ruby in lane number 5 on that flank. Jemima in first, Harding second, Rowland third. As they start to head down towards the halfway stage, and it is still Jemima Kerber of Linslade in first position here. On the bottom of your screen, on the right-hand side of the pool, Freya Cowley of Colchester, though she's certainly taking a risk here, coming out, but it's one which might pay off, who knows? But it is still in the lead. It does look like Jemima, and we will receive confirmation of that at the turn. Kimber in first, Harding second, Cowley third, Rowland fourth. Not much in it between Harding, Cowley and Rowland there in the second, third or fourth place here. But it is still Jemima Kimber in lane number 4 who is leading the way here. Quite a relaxed stroke here, lots of gliding through the water, making sure that there's a conservation of energy. And what we might see is Jemima deciding on the last 50 to just give it everything, make sure that that energy, nothing left in the tank, as they say. But Charlize in lane number 3, starting to cement her lead in second position. Ruby and Freya in 5 and 8, battling it out for third. But Jemima turns first, Charlize second, Rowland in third. And as we come down onto the final straight here then, Charlize doing her absolute best to try and catch Jemima, but Jemima is going full pelt at the moment. Certainly an increase in stroke rate here, most definitely, evidently from Charlize Harding of Norwich Swan in lane 3. Have a look at that, quite a increased frequency there. It might be enough to catch Jemima, who's been leading all the way. I think there might just be a lack of distance here as they come into the final 5 meters. Is going to be much tighter than one first thought. Oh goodness me, and Charlize does it just 3:12.78. Jemima in second, 3:13.05, and Ruby Rowland in third, 3:19.73. Well, that was an absolutely fantastic comeback from Charlize Harding of Norwich Swan. She just managed to pace it right, just managed to pip Jemima, who was leading all the way, but unfortunately just didn't manage to maintain that lead. But well done to all of those girls there, some really great swimming there. As we have the confirmed results on your screen in a few seconds, one hopes. And there they are.
Event 221 at the women's 200 metre breaststroke, heat number 3. Referee.
In 1 is Maria Stenju, lane 2 Eva Ives of Hatfield, lane 3 Ella Edwards of Basildon and Phoenix, in lane 4 Putterage's Amelia Porzino, lane 6 Annabelle Nichols of Liston, lane 7 Belle Vandermeer of the City of Cambridge, and in lane number 8 from Hitchin Hannah Lovelock. Ella Edwards here looking very strong on this first 50, closely followed by Eva Ives of Hatfield in lane number 2. Not much in between them. Belle Vandermeer of the City of Cambridge in third. But starting to move away from the rest of the pack is Ella Edwards of Basildon and Eva Ives in lanes 3 and 2. Certainly on the other side of the pool as well, Belle Vandermeer in lane number 7. She wants a bit of the action here as well. Looks like Eva Ives is just dropping back. Ella Edwards still going strong into this halfway stage. of which the split for this 100 is going to be 1:27.12. Belle Vandermeer, second position, and Annabelle Nichols in third. Ella Edwards, though, still going strong. Look at that stroke rate. It is increasing quite substantially here. And if you have a look in lane number 7, then we have Belle Vandermeer of the City of Cambridge. Her stroke rate is looking quite comfortable here. Quite a long glide when compared to Ella Edwards in 3. But it is all about tactics. It's all about finding the right pace, finding a comfortable pace, and then when you're ready, making sure that you're releasing all of that energy as soon as you feel comfortable, ensuring that you're not going to succumb to tiredness before you hit the wall. But Ella Edwards still in front, 2:12.32. Belle Vandermeer in second. Eva Ives managing to recover into third. But coming down on this final home straight, then it is Ella Edwards of Basildon and Phoenix. Looking very strong indeed as she's coming into that final 15 to 10 metre mark. Belle Vandermeer doing her absolute best to try and reclaim ground, but it is going to be Ella Edwards of Basildon and Phoenix. Look at that, what a fantastically strong swim with so much power behind that. And she touches, fantastic finish there, 2:57.88, goes sub 3 minutes, fantastic. Belle Vandermeer in lane number 7, touching second, 3:03.67, and third position is going to be going to Eva Ives of Hatfield, 3:12.75.
Confirmation of the results there for the Heat 3. Event 221, the girls 200 metre breaststroke, Heat number 4. Referee.
In lane 1 we have Sally Ann Walker from Biggleswade, lane 2 Ava Wilson of New Hall, lane 3 Ellie Smith of the City of Norwich, lane 4 Katrina Tobena of West Norfolk, lane number 5 Javan Javanji of Watford, lane 6 Alangencia Lezuskate from Watford, lane 7 Ella Great Banch from Bishop Stortford, and in lane number 8 from Team Ipswich Clementine Lovell. Ellie Smith, though, she's in first. Ava Wilson in second. Clementine Lovell in third. City of Norwich, this is of course their home pool, but Ellie Smith ruling the waves thus far. On the other side of the pool, though, in lane 7 and 8, Ella Great Batch and Clementine Lovell having a battle between them. It looks like Clementine is just pulling in front, but we will receive confirmation of those possible changes at the halfway stage, of which they're just approaching. So Ellie Smith in first, Ella Great Batch in third, with Clementine Lovell in second, Ava Wilson in fourth here. But have a look at Clementine's stroke here. It is a great 200 metres breaststroke technique, nice and long, having a great fantastic guide, making sure that those legs are propelling you through the water. The same can be said indeed for the City of Norwich's Ellie Smith in lane number 3. It's going to be a bit closer at the turn than last time, and it will be, I think, possibly more of a race than one might have expected. Yep, have a look at that. Only about 0.55 behind Ellie Smith, who is still first. They're coming down onto that final straight now. The stroke rate starting to increase. Ellie Smith of the city of Norwich has led this from the off. Is she going to be able to hold on to it? Or is Clementine Lovell of Team Ipswich, is she going to be able to just pip her to the post? Coming down then into the final 15 metres here. Ellie Smith still going strong. That stroke rate really starting to increase, but Clementine Lovell just taking the ground on her. It looks like final 5 metres. Clementine is going to take the touch here. And she does. 2:55.67. Ellie Smith grabbing second. 2:57.31. And Ella Greatbatch in third. 3 minutes 0.55 there. Very, very close from here. Clementine Lovell just timed it perfectly. She had that back end speed which really ensured that she was able to just pip Ellie to the post, but both of those girls going sub 3 minutes, which is an absolutely outstanding achievement.
Confirmation there of the results for Heat 4 of the girls 200 breaststroke. Event 221, the girls 200 metre breaststroke, heat number 5. Referee.
In lane 1 we have City of Peterborough's Lara Tremo, lane 2 Lexi O'Connor of Basildon and Phoenix, lane number 3 is Hatfield's Alice Green, lane 4 Sadie Rowe of Colchester, lane 5 Olivia Scudrell from West Norfolk, lane number 6 is Daisy Manning from Basildon and Phoenix. She's been in the water quite a few times over the course of the weekend. Her teammate Holly Hawkins in lane number 7. And in lane 8, Holly Haynes from Bishop Stortford. Leading the way then is Lexi O'Connor, followed very closely by Alice Green. 0.05 in between that. Lara in lane number 1 in third. The leaders seem to be on the left-hand side of the pool, on the top of your screens, ladies and gentlemen, so far. Lexi O'Connor in the lead. But Alice Green is catching her up, and so often what we see in this is the pink of Hatfield, the orange of Basildon and Phoenix, battling it out for those top positions here. Indeed, we shouldn't discount Lara of the City of Peterborough. They're always a fantastic one to watch as well, but at the turn it's Lexi O'Connor of Basildon and Phoenix. She's turning first, Alice Green in second, Lara still in third position here. Coming out, that underwater seems to have propelled Lara into second position here. But looking on the other side of the pool, then you have Holly Hawkins and Daisy Manning, teammates. Have been racing in training. They're battling out here along with Olivia in lane number 5. But still in front is Lexi O'Connor. Lara is right on her tail though as they start to come into the final few metres before the last 50. Will Lexi be able to hold on? Lara's first at the turn, followed very closely by Lexi O'Connor. Not much in that at all. But coming out then, these two girls looking incredibly strong, increasing that stroke rate here. City of Peterborough's Lara in lane number 1. She's just edging in front, but Lexi O'Connor isn't going to give any victory away that easily. She's just edging in front as they come into the final 15 metres here. It's neck and neck. It's going to be incredibly close here, but it looks like Lexi O'Connor, who was leading until only a few moments ago, is going to be taking the victory here as she comes into the final 5 metres. Lara doing her absolute best to try and claw back some ground, but it's going to be Lexi O'Connor who had an absolutely marvellous recovery there. 2:54.95. Lara of the City of Peterborough, second position there. She did so well to come back and turned first at the last turn, but just didn't have enough to hold on to 56.20. And then in third position, Holly Hawkins of Basildon and Phoenix, 3 minutes dead, 0.57. Well, that was particularly exciting. Lara and Lexi with the official result on your screen now.
Event 221, the girls 200 metre breaststroke, heat number 6, referee.
In one, Eleni Zorn from Putteridge. 2 is Scarlett Harrison-Marauder of Hatfield. 3 is Alexia Mann of Basildon and Phoenix. Her teammate Gracie Comity in lane 4, also of Basildon and Phoenix. Lane 5, Evie Jamieson of Harlow Penguins. Madison Price of Putteridge in 6. Sydney Smith of the City of Cambridge in number 7. And in lane 8, Mabel Gigg of the City of Norwich. Coming up to the turn of the first 50 then, it looks like Eleni Zorn in lane 1's turning first. Scarlett Harrison-Marauder in second, she's in lane 2. Gracie in 4 in third. They've gone out very fast here in the mid to upper 30s. But having a look at this then, we've got Zorn in 1, Harrison-Marauder in 2, Comity in 4 and Price in 6, all trying to battle it out for who can be number 1, who can get the top spot, who can get the fastest touch with 100 metres to go. It's not much into this turn here, but it does look like Gracie Comity is coming back very strongly here. She touches first, Zorn in 1 in second, Harrison-Marauder in third. On to the second 100 then, the second half of this 200. It looks like Gracie is going from strength to strength. She didn't have maybe the strongest start she might have hoped for, but she's certainly reclaiming that lost ground now. Scarlett Harrison-Marauder in lane number 2 of Hatfield, just edging in front of Zorn. Alexia Mann of Basildon and Phoenix though in lane number 3 is also trying to get on the action here. But at the turn then, it is going to be Gracie Comity who's touching first. Second, Zorn. Third, Harrison-Marauder. Only about a second, 2 seconds in between it, but as we're coming down to the final leg then, all of these girls you can see are working incredibly hard to try and get the best position here. Gracie Comity, fantastic recovery that she's had during this race. She's coming down and she's in prime position, leaving everyone else in her wake at this moment as she comes to the final 15 metres here. But over on the other side of the pool, Zorn and Harrison-Marauder are battling it out for second place. It looks like Scarlett in lane number 2 is just pulling in front here, but it is going to be Gracie Comity who's touching first, 256.99 there. Scarlett in lane number 2 is going to be touching second, 303.12. And Alexia Mann, well, she had a fantastic recovery on that last back-end leg, 303.87. Just highlights how important that back-end speed can really be. It helped immensely Gracie to win that heat, as you can see with those official results on your screen now.
Event 221, the girls 200 metre breaststroke, heat number 7, referee.
Heat number 7 then. Daisy Mixer of Norwich Swan in 1. Lane 2 is Casey Cooper in Lane 2 from West Norfolk. Lane 3, Caitlin McNichols of Deben. Lane 4, Anna Lucia Fenner of Basildon and Phoenix. Lane 5, Molly Grieve of Colchester. Lane 6, Laura Alexander High of Team Ipswich. And in Lane 7, Tina Hill of the City of Ely. Daisy Mixer then, a very strong first 50. And she's not even on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. She's that far in front at the moment. My goodness me, look at that. Norwich Swan, Daisy Mixer, she's really pulling in front here. Had an absolutely wonderful and marvellous first 100 metres here. Anna Lucia in lane number 4, doing her best to reel her in there. Molly Grieve of Colchester in 5, also doing that. As is Laura in lane number 6 of Team Ipswich. But Daisy Mixer, she's flying away here. Over 3 seconds in front of her peers. Anna Lucia in 2nd. Grieve in 3rd with Laura Alexander High in 4th. But it is Daisy Mixer who is really flying now. She is leaving every single athlete in her wake at this moment in time. The only one who's possibly even close to catching her is Anna Lucia Fenner of Basildon and Phoenix. But Daisy Mixer, what a fantastically strong swim from her. That stroke rate is just starting to pick up now as she comes to the final 50 of this 200 metres breaststroke. She turns 2:07.85, maybe a little breath of air as she turns there. But nearly 7 seconds now between Daisy Mixter and her next competitor, Anna Lucia Fenner. She's had an absolutely outstanding first few lengths. This is just absolutely extraordinary, ladies and gentlemen. Moving really forward now. Her personal best, 2:55.86. I would assume that this is going to be a personal best for her if she carries on like this. Final 10 metres now, looking a little bit more constrained, a little bit more tired possibly, but she's going to be coming in and finishing the very best that she can do. Touching on a 2:56.55. Molly Grieve of Colchester taking 2nd, 3:01.23. Anna Lucia Fenner in lane number 4, 3:03.24. But no one was a match for Daisy Mixter, who's the only one there to actually go sub 3 minutes. So congratulations, Daisy. Congratulations, ladies. Well done.
Confirmation of the results there for the girls 200 breaststroke heat 7. Event 221, the girls 200 metre breaststroke heat number 8. Referee.
All of these girls in heat number 8 scheduled to go sub 3 minutes. We shall soon see if that is indeed the case. In lane number 1 from Basildon and Phoenix, Gracie Parker. Lane 2, Olivia Newman Baroness of Putteridge. Lane 3, Jessica Mahoney of the City of Peterborough. Norwich Swan have a good showing in this heat with Caitlin Richardson in 4, Rebecca Morell in 5, and Ellie Rose Lyon in 6, Isla Hamilton in 7. And in lane number 8 from Chelmsford, Lisa Limman. Lane number 1 seems to be a very lucky lane at the moment, with Gracie Parker leading the way, 36.63. Olivia in lane number 2 in 2nd, Ellie Rose Lyon in 3. But Gracie Parker starting to get moving, as is Ellie Rose Lyon of Norwich Swan. She's looking like she's just overtaken Gracie at that 20 metre mark. But it is Ellie Rose Lyon who's coming in here at the halfway stage then. Her split is going to be a 120.40. Gracie Parker just slipping down to second, 122.12. Caitlin Richardson in third position here. But Ellie Rose Lyon of Norwich Swan starting to separate herself from the rest of the cohort. Gracie Parker in one, doing her best to regain that position of first position, as is Caitlin Richardson in lane number 4. Undoubtedly, Caitlin and Ellie would have trained together. Both of Norwich Swan, both probably focusing on the same priorities, but it's Gracie Parker who's just edging in front here. It really is going to be about who has the most energy left in the tank on this final 50 meters here. Both of these girls looking very, very strong. Gracie Parker possibly just a little bit stronger, a little bit more energy here. But Ellie Rose Lyon definitely not giving up here. She's just edging in front, as is Caitlin Richardson in lane number 4. But Ellie Rose Lyon, who has been in front since the 50-meter mark, is now coming into her final few meters here. It's going to be very, very tight on the touch, but I think Ellie Rose Lyon is just going to have it. Final few strokes here for Ellie Rose Lyon. She's touching 250.55. Gracie Parker in second, 250.74. Well, that was incredibly close for her. And Caitlin Richardson in for 251.97. That final few 10 meters, one would say, was incredibly close, incredibly tight there. But confirmation of those official results for heat number 8 on your screens now.
Event 221, the girls 200 meter breaststroke, heat number 9. Referee.
One, Francesca Key of Thurrock. 2, Lucy King of Hitchin. 3 is Olivia Lee of the City of Peterborough. 4, Evie Brown of Watford. Lane number 5 is Kiara Wookie of Colchester. 6 is Katie Andrews of Norwich Swan. 7, Sarah Mahmood of Hatfield. And in 8 is Grace Gunton of the City of Norwich. At the turn then of the first 50. Wookie first, Key second, Lee in third, King not far behind in 4th position here. Not much divergence though, these 4 right out in front. Looking like Wookie in lane number 5 is just edging in front of the rest. Katie Andrews of Norwich Swan in lane number 6 is trying to hunt her down, as is Grace Gunton of the City of Norwich. Nothing like the spearhead we would expect to see in a seeded heat such as this, but it makes for very exciting stuff. At the 100 meter mark, the halfway mark then, it's King who turns first, Wookie in second, Key in third. Not by much though, Lee and Gunton in 4th and 5th. But it's incredibly tight here. It's particularly difficult for those in the middle lane to be able to see what's going on the far outer edge-longs of the swimming pool. Lucy King in lane number 2, really starting to move now, leaving Wookie in her wake. But Francesca Key, Olivia Lee, trying to cling on as far as possible, as much as possible, to Lucy King in lane number 2. King still in front, Key in second, with Lee in third. Gunton takes 4th, Wookie in 5. But coming back now, it looks like Francesca Key and Lucy King in 1 and 2 are battling it out here. King just in front. But it looks like Hitchin's Lucy King is really starting to move now, making sure that she's leaving Francesca Key in her wake, just like the other competitors in the water here. She's going strong, giving it all she can as she comes into the final 10 to 15 meters of this 200-meter breaststroke. Final 5 meters then for Lucy King of Hitchin. She's going to come in, a very strong finish from her, and she touches 251.28. Katie Andrews, what an absolutely fantastic comeback from her. 254.57 in third position. Francesca Key in 255.45. Katie Andrews there, a massive recovery for her to get second position, but it was Lucy King of Hitchin who took the win in heat number 9. The confirmed results on your screen now.
Event 221, the girls 200-meter breaststroke, heat number 10. Referee.
Charlotte Tree of Colchester goes in 1. Olivia Cooper of Basildon and Phoenix in 2. Lane 3 is Georgina Pritchard of Hatfield. 4, Jessica Watson of Modernians. 5 is Alice Fazy of the City of Norwich. Macy Dexter in lane 6 for City of Cambridge. Mia Lowe in 7 for Basildon and Phoenix. And Bishop Stortford's Kirsty Neal in 8. A good start for Olivia Cooper of Basildon and Phoenix in lane number 2. Charlotte Tree not far behind her at all. Olivia Cooper turns first. Tree in second. Fazy third. Watson in fourth. But as I said, not much in it at all so far. Charlotte Tree on the attack here. Olivia Cooper and Charlotte Tree doing their best to battle it out here. Still about 125 meters to go. Olivia Cooper really starting to put on the power here, but on the outside lane in lane number 8 is Kirsty Neal of Bishop Stortford. She wants some of the action in there. She wants to post of a good time. At the turn then, it's going to be Kirsty Neal, one would assume, who's turning first, and she does 121.54. Olivia Cooper down to second, not by much though, 122.07. Olivia Tree in third. It's certainly very odd how this race has occurred. The fastest, the leaders are on the outside lane. In the outside lane, you probably wouldn't be able to see each other, only possibly on the turn. But it's Kirsty Neal in lane at number 8, who is still leading the way. Macy Dexter of the City of Cambridge now making an appearance into third position here. But it is Olivia Cooper still in second at the turn then. Who's it going to be? Neal in first. Cooper still in second. Tree third. Dexter up into fourth. Olivia Tree then coming out of that turn, the highest placed individual on that side of the pool, but it is Kirsty Neal of Bishop Stortford who really is moving now, really starting to be reeled in to the finish. Lane number 8 in her sights. The block of which she just dived off only about 100, well, nearly 200 meters ago. Coming into the final 5 meters now, looking for a very, very strong finish here. And she slams the timing pad, 2:46.49. Who's gonna get second? Dexter manages to recover, 2:53 dead. Mia Lowe, 2:53.58. My goodness me, those girls in 7 and 6 really put on the power in the last 50 meters. So congratulations though to those individuals there, with the final results of heat number 10 on your scoreboards now.
Event 221, this is the girls 200-meter breaststroke, heat number 11. Referee.
In lane 1 we have Matilda Ransom of the City of Cambridge, lane 2 Lucy Park of Watford, Chelmsford's Chloe Skett goes in lane 3, Ruby Wheeler of Basildon and Phoenix in 4, Sarah O'Brien of West Norfolk in 5, Georgina Maggs of the City of Cambridge in 6, and in lane number 8 Isabella Paulzinho from Potteridge.
Hello.
Georgina Maggs of the City of Cambridge there in first
Go,
at that
Ruby!
15 to turn. Chloe Skelt of Chelmsford in second. Third is Matilda Ransom's
Go,
position
Ruby!
on that turn.
Woo!
Just look at Georgina's stroke here. She's really gliding out, really trying to conserve that energy. When you compare that to Chloe in lane number 2. But Georgina still going strong into the final 100 here. Starting to pick up the stroke rate a little bit more. So she's going to turn 116.41. Chloe Skelt still in second position here. Sarah O'Brien makes an appearance into the podium positions of first, second and third. But still leading the way here, really starting to move down the edge of lane of the pool is Georgina Maggs of the City of Cambridge. That gap slowly widening between her and her next competitor, which could indeed be Chloe Skelt and Sarah O'Brien in 3 and 5. Turning onto the home stretch, the home leg now for Georgina Maggs, 2 minutes, 0.27. Nearly, well, over 2 seconds between her and Matilda and Chloe in 2 and 3. Coming down to this final stretch though, it looks like Matilda Ransom is starting to come back on Georgina Maggs. It's going to be very close here. Georgina built up a really good lead here. Is she going to lose it? It's zooming out. No, I don't think she is.
Go, Ruby!
As she comes to her final 15 meters now, still going strong. That catch that she's getting from her hands, moving her forward. The block of lane 6 in her sight, as she glides in there, 2:44.11. Matilda Ransom in second, 2:46.55, and Sarah O'Brien, 2:49.82. And the confirmed results on your screens now. Moving on then to the women's 12 years and over 200 metre breaststroke timed final. In lane number 1 from Hatfield, Ella Norton. In lane number 2 from West Suffolk, Charlotte White. In lane number 3 from the City of Norwich, Molly Monk. In lane number 4 from the City of Peterborough, Beth Dennis. In lane 5 from Hatfield, Sophie Payne. In lane 6 from Witham Dolphins, Aoife Marley. In lane 7 from West Norfolk, Molly Lee. And in lane number 8 from Hatfield, Caitlin Hartley. Ladies and gentlemen, your women's 200 metres breaststroke timed final. Over to you, referee. Not much in between them on the start here. But Beth Dennis of Peterborough just edging in front. Molly Monk of the City of Norwich in lane number 3, doing very well here as well. Caitlin Hartley in lane number 8 as well. We'll just have to wait for the turn to see the actual rankings of these ladies. But City of Peterborough's Beth Dennis, she's starting to go in front of the rest of the pack. Turning first, Dennis, Monk in second, Norton in third, White in fourth, Payne in fifth. Not much in between Dennis and Monk in 4 and 3. Both of incredibly reputable clubs of the City of Peterborough and the City of Norwich, but it does look like Beth Dennis of Peterborough is just inching in front of her now. A strong swim here from Sophie Payne in 5, who's in 3rd position at the moment, but it is Beth Dennis who is just in front of Molly Monk at the turn and at the 100 metre mark. What's the time going to be? 1:15.42. Molly Monk in second, 1:16.88. Not much in at all there, a second and a half possibly. Sophie Payne comes up from 5th to 3rd. Really starting to move now. Beth Dennis, that stroke race starting to pick up. Molly Monk trying to keep in touch with her. Sophie Payne has got probably both of them in her sights from lane number 5. But it's Beth Dennis at the moment of the City of Peterborough who's starting to slowly make a gap between her and Molly Monk as they turn now onto the final 50 metre. It's Beth Dennis here. That second and a half has almost definitely widened, and indeed it has. Molly Monk in second. Sophie Payne hot on her tail in 3rd position here. But Beth Dennis, who looked incredibly strong from the off, now leading the way, leaving Molly Monk of Norwich in her wake as she's coming to her final 25 metres here. Molly Monk doing her absolute best to try and claw back something here, but it's going to be Beth Dennis of the City of Peterborough. Her entry time there, 2:28.97. Just going to be a little bit off that, but coming into the very strong finish there from Beth Dennis. 2:34.50. Molly Monk of Norwich in second, 2:38.00. Sophie Payne, bearing in mind that she was 5th at the first turn, is in 3rd. A fantastic finish in 3rd, 2:43.60. Not bad at all from those ladies in the water, not bad at all. Just having a look at that, you could just see that Beth Dennis was just the stronger swimmer there. She was seeded first, and goodness me, it was no surprise that lane 4 started to go away there. Molly Monk just couldn't catch her, but look at that, a strong finish there, strong finish from Molly as well. And the confirmed results for that final are on your screen now.
And that concludes the racing for this session. The next session, session 5B, the warm-up starts at 1:35. And that is the men's 200 butterfly.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to session 5 of the Swim England East Region Festival of Swimming 2021. We've had the women's 200 metres breaststroke, some absolutely terrific swimming there from those ladies. We're now moving on to the men's 200 metres butterfly, an incredibly tiresome event for many, but I'm sure that we will have some incredibly fast swimming as well. But it gives me great pleasure to welcome onto poolside all of our officials and volunteers and introduce to you our lead officials. Our lead referee for today's session is Jerry Metcalf. She's joined on poolside by referee Paul Kendall. The starter for today's session is Stephen Christian, and I am joined here with announcer Chris Maloney of the City of Norwich. We shall be getting started in the next few minutes, making a few final technical checks, making sure that those swimmers are prepared, that they've had their Lucasade, their water, they've got their hats and goggles in the clear plastic bags. and then we shall be ready for some very fast swimming indeed. Of course, we're live here from Sportspark in Norwich, but for those of you watching along at home on the live stream, if you want to rewatch any of the action, go onto the Swim England East Region YouTube channel. We've got all of the sessions there. They'll all be uploaded as soon as the session is concluded. And of course, we have live results going through Sports Systems. So if you missed anything, want to go and double check who swam what, then those results are available online as well. Follow the Swim England East Region Twitter page, and of course follow the links to get to that information as well.
And so we get this session underway with event 222 at the men's 200 metre butterfly, heat number 1. Referee.
On to the 200 metres butterfly then. In lane number 2, Henry Bird of Putteridge. Lane 3 of Colchester, Harrison Brook. Charlie Riss from the city of Peterborough goes in 4, and in lane number 5 of the city of Norwich, Daniel Dutson. Quite evidently a very good start there for Harrison Brook of Colchester. He's turning first at that first 50 metres. Harry Bird in second. Charlie Rees in third, and Daniel Dutson in fourth. All of these athletes, 12 years old apart from Harrison, who is 13, all of them have times around about the 3-minute 20 mark, so they'll be aiming and aspiring to beat those times. But still in front is Harrison Brook of Colchester, developing that lead, quite a substantial lead. The only one who is really in the contention at the moment is Harry Bird of Putteridge in 2. At the turn there, 1:20.01. 3 seconds nearly behind him, Harry Bird in lane number 2. He's in second position. Daniel Dutson of the City of Norwich in third, Charlie Rees in fourth. Those two battling it out here to try and get that third position. But back out in front, it is Harrison Brook of Colchester, who is flying through this 50 metres, 200 metres butterfly, in fact. Looking a little bit tired now as he's about to turn on to the final 50 metres, but he's built up a substantial lead, 2:05.65. A 5-second lead there in front of Harry Bird of Putteridge. Coming down now into the final strength, his eyes set on the block of lane number 3. We've often discussed this this competition, how tough 200-metre butterfly is. We discussed it yesterday for the ladies, and of course for these gentlemen here, it's going to be an incredibly tough event. But Harrison Brook taking it all in his stride as he's coming into his final 5 metres here. He's definitely going to get a personal best there, quite a substantial one there, 2:53.17. What a fantastic time from him. A personal best of at least 20 seconds. Harry Bird in second, 3:01.27. And it's going to be very tight here between Charlie Rees and Daniel Dutson, but it is Charlie who takes third position, 3:15.29. Daniel just being pipped there, 3:17.08. And that concludes heat number 1 of the men's 200-metre butterfly. The confirmed results on your screens now.
Event 222, the men's 200-metre butterfly, heat number 2. Referee.
A full complement of swimmers in this second heat of the 200 metres butterfly. In lane number 1, Adam O'Neill of Modernians. Lane 2, Toby Lashmar of Basildon and Phoenix. In lane 3 of Newhall, George Portlock. Lane 4 is George Taylor of Bishop Stortford. Lane 5 is Harrison Shaw of Flitwick. Lane 6 is Dimitris Gravkos of Harlow Penguins. Lane 7, Thomas James of West Norfolk. And in lane 8, Kian Lee of the City of Peterborough. Harrison Shaw there in front, closely followed by George Taylor in lane number 4. These boys getting quite a substantial lead ahead of the rest of the pack. George Portlock also in contention here. It's worth saying that George Taylor in 4 and Harrison Shaw in 5 are 14 years old. That makes them the oldest in this heat. But certainly they're going to be turning now on a 1:12.71 for George Taylor. Harrison Shaw just behind him by a fraction of a second there, 1:13.10. Dimitris Gravkos comes up to third, 1:19.85, but that lead is only growing there for George Taylor and Harrison Shaw right in front. Harrison just in front of George in lane number 4, but it is going to be incredibly close. These boys will be looking at each other, thinking, who's got the most energy? Can I beat him? And we will soon find out what the result of that is. George Taylor there, turning, maybe not as a fast a turn as he would have liked. Harrison Shaw in second, a good turn from him. But George Taylor still in front. Not much in it now at all, not much in it at all, but George Taylor still in front just on the last turn, maybe just a second, but it does look like Harrison Shaw is coming back. He's coming back incredibly strongly here. Quite an interesting distance, maybe a metre in front of George Portlock, and it is going to be George Taylor of Harrison Shaw then in lane number 5. He takes the win there, 2:40.44. George Taylor of Bishop Stortford just couldn't hang on in the end, 2:41.72. A fantastic swim from him nonetheless. George Portlock in lane number 3. He's third, 2:46.38. And time again, we've talked about the back end speed here. And Harrison Shaw's pulled it out of the bag there with that back end speed on that 200 metres butterfly. That's what won it, as they say. And there are the confirmed results for heat number 2.
Event 222, the boys 200 metre butterfly, heat number 3. Referee.
In lane 1, Jude Gunner of St. Felix School. Lane number 2, City of Norwich is Oliver Pike. Lane 3, Lewis Allen of Basildon and Phoenix. Lane number 4, Kevin Moldovan of Harlow Penguins. Lane 5, Robert Fenner of Basildon and Phoenix. Lane 6 is Whitbedge, Jamie Wilson. Edward Ormsby goes in lane number 7 for the City of Cambridge. And in lane number 8, Sean Connolly of Epping Forest. Oliver Pike, my goodness me. That is a fantastic start from him. He's right out in front. Kevin in lane number 4 in second position. Edward Ormsby. Now he's had a good competition so far. He's been swimming quite a lot of events. In lane number 7, he's third at the moment. But right out in front is Oliver Pike of the City of Norwich there. Kevin Moldovan in lane number 4 trying to get into that first position, but Oliver Pike 3 seconds at least in front of Kevin. Edward Ormsby still in third position here. But that lead of Oliver's is growing and growing and growing. 7 seconds in front of Edward Ormsby, who's third. He is leading the way. That pack is slowly going here. City of Norwich swimmer in lane number 2. Kevin in lane number 4 doing his absolute best to try and follow him here. It'll be very interesting to see if that lead has shrunk. Oliver Pike, 1:46.43, going on to his last lap. Kevin Moldovan, 1:50.75 there. But Oliver Pike still looking strong, looking a little bit tired, but looking strong nonetheless. As he comes into his final 25 metres here of his 200 metres butterfly. He has led the way from the start. He had a great start. Really ensured that his fly was as strong as possible. Those tactics that he used undoubtedly have worked for him as he comes into his final 5 metres. I expect there'll be a very happy City of Norwich coach here. But he touches very fantastically strong finish, 2:28.27. Kevin Moldovan in for second position, 2:32.38. Edward Ormsby, who we've seen many times this weekend, third position, 2:36.07. But no one was fast enough to catch Oliver Pike of the city of Norwich.
And there you have the official results. Event 222, the boys 200 metre butterfly, heat number 4. Referee.
Where's Archie Ran goes in lane number 1, James Peacock of the city of Peterborough into James Gupinar of Harlow Penguins in 3, Harry Stagg of Basildon and Phoenix in 4, lane 5, Jason Ho of Hatfield, lane number 6, Daniel Kendall of the city of Ely, lane 7, Sanjiz Chechens of Colchester, and in lane 8, Basildon and Phoenix is Isaac Ferrugia. Straight off the bat then, Jason Ho in first, Harry Stagg in second, Sanjiz Chechens in third. All of these boys here looking incredibly strong. Some fantastic technique in the water at the moment, but Jason Ho is pulling in front here. Sanjiz Chechens in second, chasing him down on his right-hand side. But as they come into the final 10 meters before the halfway stage, it does look like Jason Ho is just going to get it, and he does. 106.16. Sanjiz Chechens in second, 107.46. Isaac Ferrugia of Basildon and Phoenix in third here. But Jason Ho starting to go from strength to strength. Sanjiz Chechens doing his best to run him down. Not much in between them, but it is Jason Ho still out in front. Isaac Ferrugia of Basildon and Phoenix starting to move away from the pack in third position here. It really is going to be on the touch of the next 50. Who's got the most in them? Jason Ho very strong there into the turn. Sanjiz Chechens equally as strong. Only a second in between them there. As they're coming onto the final leg now, they know that it's their final leg. They're going to be giving everything they've got, trying to empty the can. Jason Ho, his lead has shrunk significantly. Sanjiz Chechens really coming up on his right-hand side. Sanjiz Chechens looking like he's just pulling in front here. It's going to be on the touch. It's going to be incredibly close as they go into the final 10 meters. It's neck and neck at the moment. Final 5 meters here. Sanjiz Chechens of Colchester just pulling in front here. And it's going to be Sanjiz Chechens who comes back into first position, 2:23.37. Jason Ho had a fantastic swim, just couldn't hold on in the last 50 meters, 2:24.09. And in third position there, Isaac Ferrugia of Basildon and Phoenix, 2:28.10.
Event 222, the boys 200 metre butterfly, heat number 5. Referee.
In lane 1, Callum Cox of Bishop Stortford. Hatfield's Joshua Ellis goes into Louis James of Norwich Swan in 3. Zach Truman of 4 from Colchester. Lane 5, Joshua Shepherd of Thurrock. Lane 6, Ryan Wall of the city of Cambridge. He's been in time and again this weekend. Archie Chamberlain in 7 of West Suffolk. And in lane 8, Antonio Giolami of Colchester. At the touch then, Louis James of the city of Norwich Swans, I do apologise. In first position, Jack Troman, Callum Cox slightly behind him there. Archie Chamberlain though in lane number 7, starting to come up on the right-hand side of the pool. Into the turn though, it's going to be very close between these three swimmers here. Louis James, Zach Troman and Archie Chamberlain. James is first, Troman second, Chamberlain in third. Not much in it there, as you can see on the top left-hand corner of the screen for that 100 split, 106.49. Zach Troman though really starting to come back into his own with that back-end speed here as he starts to come into the final stages before the final 50 of this 200 meters butterfly. Zach Troman still in front here, Archie Chamberlain in second. But Zach Troman, I do believe he had a really good 400 meters individual medley this morning. Leading the way here, he's leading the way as it is again, but Archie Chamberlain is on his tail in lane number 7. It's going to be incredibly tight here. Archie Chamberlain just looking like he's edging in front. A reputable swim there as well from Louis James, but I think it's going to be Archie Chamberlain as he comes into the final few meters here, final few strokes. And it is Archie Chamberlain of West Suffolk who takes the win here, 2:24.27. Zach Troman in second, 2:24.65. And Joshua Ellis of Hatfield in third, 2:28.03. A very, very tight swim there for the top two positions in particular, as we await confirmation of the final results. And there they are on your screen now, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on to Heat 6, referee. In lane 1 goes Harry Dean of Thurrock. Lane 2, Adam Holmes of Flitwick. Lane 3, Thomas Page of West Suffolk. In lane number 4, Daniel Clayton of Team Ipswich. Basildon and Phoenix, Daniel McGuinness goes in 5. Devons, Riley Bashford in 6. Jack Barnard in lane number 7 for Potters Bar. Mark Milburn of Colchester in lane number 8. Great start there from Thomas Page, 2 seconds in front of his nearest competitor, Henry Dean. Daniel Clayton in third. But it is Thomas Page of West Suffolk who really is flying away here. Daniel Clayton right on his tail, not letting him get away that easily in this 200 meters butterfly. Daniel Clayton is looking incredibly strong from Team Ipswich here. At the turn then, final few strokes until that turn. Touching first, Thomas Page. Daniel Clayton in a very, very close second. Daniel McGuinness in third. It's going to be very close between Thomas Page and Daniel Clayton, but it just looks like Thomas Page in lane number 3 is inching forward here. Daniel Clayton of Team Ipswich doing his absolutely best to catch him. Final 50 metre, and it really is going to be decided. We've seen it time and again now in these heats, that although someone may be touching first on this turn here, that over that 50, it can all really start to collapse with the back end speed. If you're absolutely shattered, then someone else is going to be in it for the taking, but it does look like Thomas Page is just holding on here. Daniel Clayton and Daniel McGuinness getting much closer on here, but looking here, it's going to be Daniel McGuinness of Basildon who is coming back absolutely fantastically. Literally, he wasn't there only a few minutes ago. That few 50 meters there was an absolute stunner. He's going to be coming in first. Final few meters for him. He's leaving all of those in his wake. Daniel McGuinness is taking first, 2:20.48. Thomas Page in second. Mark Milburn in third. But Daniel McGuinness there And we've spoken about it, that back end speed. It's something which is worked on in training, and it really has paid off there for Daniel McGuinness, who is able to overtake, fly by those other competitors and take first position in this 200 meters fly.
Confirmation of the results there for heat number 6. Event number 222, the men's 200 metre butterfly, heat number 7, referee.
The penultimate heat of the 200 metres butterfly, and I'm sure that all of our athletes who have gone before are very pleased that that's over. But in lane number 1, Olivier Vedren of City of Norwich. Lane 2, William Ellard of St Felix School. Nikita Charninkin from Thurrock in 3. James Rowley of Divan in 4. William Tozer of West Suffolk in 5. Daniel Ord of Watford in 6. Harley West goes in lane 7 for Basildon and Phoenix. And Harry Arthurborn of Harpenden in 8. At that turn then, Nikita Charninkin in lane number 3 in first position, prime position at the moment here. But not much distinction between anyone at this moment in time. It's still Nikita Charninkin in lane number 3 who is leading the way. This next 100 undoubtedly will reshape the race. Nikita Charninkin turning first. Olivier Vedren in second from the City of Norwich. He's had a very busy weekend. William Ellard in second here. All of the action seems to be on the right-hand side of the ball, the window view side there. But it is Nikita Charninkin of Thurrock who is leading the way here. Olivier Vedren doing his best to catch him, as is William Ellard of St Felix School. At the turn then, it still is Nikita Charninkin. Olivier Vedren in second. William Ellard in third. But it is Nikita Charninkin who is leading the way. There was a little bit of doubts, possibly, at the beginning of whether or not he was going to be able to sustain this, whether or not he was going to be able to break away from the rest of the pack. He seems to be doing that right now. Olivier Vedren trying to hunt him down here, but I think there is just not enough pool length left, to be quite frank. Final few meters now, and it is going to be Nikita in lane number 3 who takes the win here, 2:18.28. Olivier Vedren, 2:20.46. Third position then is going to go to Harley West of Basildon and Phoenix, 2:27.33. He had a really good last 50 meters there. And confirmation of those results for heat number 7 of the men's 12 years and over 200 meters butterfly. Well, isn't this exciting, ladies and gentlemen? This is the timed final of the men's 200 meters butterfly. In lane number 1, from Thurrock, Jimmy Taylor. In lane number 2, from City of Peterborough, George Whiteman. In lane 3, from West Suffolk, Miles Turner. In lane 4 from Hatfield, Michael Klimaszewski. In lane number 5 from the city of Peterborough, Connor Walker. He's joined by teammates Jack Trimhern from lane 6. In lane number 7 from Stowmarket, Matthew Brown. And in lane number 8 from Team Waverley, Jack Pallant. Over to you, referee. A really strong start there from Michael Klimaszewski, the fastest seed here in lane number 4. Got a lot of support from the Hatfield girls, particularly Woody there. But Michael Klimaszewski, what an absolute flying start here. He is leaving the rest of them in his wake. Connor Walker and Miles Turner in 5 and 3 doing their best to catch him down. But Michael Klimaszewski, what an absolutely fantastic 50 metre, 26.18. 2 seconds in front of any competitor. That's not a bad position to be in, ladies and gentlemen, on the first 50 of a 200 metre fly. But Michael Klimaszewski, he really is going now. That gap is widening and widening. Connor Walker, his mainly only competition here in lane number 5. Miles Turner doing his best in lane 3, but coming into the 100 metre mark, it's going to be a sub 1 minute for Michael, 57.34. What an extraordinary swim from him. Connor Walker in second, Miles Turner in third. No one, though, can catch Michael Klimaszewski of Hatfield. He is going like the clappers. My goodness me, look at that stroke. Even after 125 metres, he is looking as strong as when he dived in. Final few metres now for him before he turns onto that final 50 metre leg here. A fast turn from him, 129.41. His personal best is going to be a 2 minutes, 0.31. I think he's going to be aiming, definitely aspiring for a better time than that, but look at him go. That technique is absolutely beautiful. It's really propelling him through the water there. It's giving him speed, it's giving him power. He's looking powerful. Even though he must be absolutely shattered, he has gone out completely. Starting to slow down a little bit, but final few meters here, he's still in front, he's still maintained that lead. Final few strokes from him, and it's going to be Michael Klimaszewski of Hatfield, 2:10.32. Connor Walker of the city of Peterborough in second position, 2:12.79, and Miles Turner in third, 2:13.76. Well, goodness me, Michael Klimaszewski of Hatfield, what a fantastic and extraordinary race from him. He was leading the way from the off. Look at that start. What a fantastic underwater phase. Early on, we just knew that no one was going to be able to catch him there. Look at that. And he just carried on going and going and going. So much power there. Towards the end, getting a little bit tired, but still managed to have a comfortable win there for Michael. And ladies and gentlemen, that concludes session well, I'll first say that is the official result for the times final of the men's 12 years and over 200 metres butterfly. Now that concludes the session number 5 of the Swim England East Region Festival of Swimming. You will join us next in, well, if you decide to, at 3:35, of which we're going to be starting the live stream. Some exciting events for you there. But in the meantime, have a fantastic rest of your afternoon, and we shall look forward to welcoming you back very shortly indeed.